Welcome to the Business Meetings 101 webinar. This webinar is designed to answer some of the questions you have about the CCIM Institute business meetings. Items covered in Business Meetings 101 will be the frequently asked questions: who can attend, inaugural dinner, pre-registration, check-in, schedules, attire, arrival, and various events. The committee meetings, purpose of the business meetings, hierarchy of committee and subcommittees, what meetings should I attend, organizational flow chart and vote-in, attending rules, task force. And governance, national officer election process, presidential liaison, board of directors, regional vice presidents, committee chairs, and CCIM Institute staff. CCIM Institute mission statement. The mission of the CCIM Institute is to elevate our members to the highest levels of success in the commercial real estate profession. The vision statement. The CCIM designation is recognized as the global standard of professionalism in commercial real estate. So who is the CCIM Institute? It's you, the volunteers. The CCIM Institute is administered by CCIM designees who volunteer their time and expertise. These commercial real estate professionals work in conjunction with CCIM's team of association professionals to carry out the Institute's mission. Our official name is the CCIM Institute of National Association of Realtors. We are a 501c6 trade association. So what are the business meetings? The CCIM business meetings are held 2 times a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. During the business meetings, there are chapter events, networking, committee meetings, board of director meetings, the testing and pending of our new designees, and in the fall we have the inaugural dinner to honor our new Institute president. We often hear the question of who can attend the business meetings, and this answer is very simple. It is open to absolutely anyone. So let's move on to how do I register. You will begin at ccim.com. Next, you will click on the Networking and then click on the Conference and Meeting tab. This will take you to the Meetings and Event page. You will notice that there are multiple items to register for on this page. First, let's start with the registering for the governance meetings. This is where you will register for your badge and let the Institute know that you're attending. Please make sure that the name you want to appear on your badge is what you are filling in. Next, you will need to separately register for the inaugural dinner. I do want to point out that this event does have an additional fee associated with it and is only held in the fall. The next event is the CCIM chapter networking event. This event is hosted by the local chapter in the market where the national meetings are held. They're a great place to network and very fun. This is also will have an additional fee associated with it. Last, please reserve your room. I must stress the CCIM Institute has a room block. Normally this block has significantly discounted room rates. It is very important for you to understand that once the room rate and block is only guaranteed until the deadline or those rooms are gone. Now, let's talk about where to find the schedule. Back on the Conference and Meeting tab, you will find the schedule right here. You can also see who's attending. Please make sure that you go back to this. As the schedule is updated by staff, it will be downloaded onto the website, so occasionally it will change. Upon arrival, you will be checking in and receive a packet. The packet includes your badge, agenda, event tickets, if paid in advance. Event tickets can be for the chapter event, the inaugural dinner, networking, and mixers, again if these are paid in advance. So what is the inaugural dinner? It's the installation of the Institute president. It's open to everyone, a formal event with dinner and music, held at the fall meetings only, requires registration and an additional cost. So what is the purpose of the meetings? First, there is a governance aspect. The committee meetings and Board of Director meetings are held live where everyone can see what is happening at an institute level. Next is networking. After the meetings, there are chapter events, young professional and women mixers, speed networking, and the inaugural dinner. And of course, the infamous exam and pinning. During the meetings, we welcome our newest members to the CCIM designation with a welcome reception. And then the chapters and/or regions host dinners.
So about the committee meetings. Committee members are appointed by the Institute leadership team on an annual basis. If you are interested in being on a committee, please fill out the request that is sent out each year. Now, let's talk about who runs the committee meetings. They are led by the committee chairman. Many ask if the meetings are open to anyone, and that answer is simply yes. Your schedule will show certain meetings as closed if they are not. And the question comes up about what if you're running late. We welcome you to walk in and out of these meetings and committees. Many times there are two that are going on at the same time that you might want to hear. So please attend one, and if you would like, leave and go to the next. Where do you sit? There are chairs that are sat around the room, against the wall, and sometimes in a block in the back. Please feel free to sit in any of these. The tables are reserved for the actual committee members only. What if you have a question? Please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. If the chair does not immediately call on you, please be patient. The committee members' comments are normally taken before the chair opens the comments for the room. Your comments are very important though, so please be patient. And there is a sign-in sheet. So those will be passed around the room in each meeting. Please sign in. It is the only way we know who's attended.
On this slide, you will notice that the chapters report to the Regional Vice President, who then reports to the CCIM Institute Governance and Committees. So who is your Regional Vice President, and specifically what is their job? The Regional Vice President and First Vice President serve as an advocate for both chapters and institute, and to be a source for information and process for chapter interactions with the institute, other regions, and individual chapters. The regional officer acts as a liaison between chapters within the region and the institute, communicating news, information, and concerns, facilitates the exchange of best practices amongst the region. The Regional Vice President serves as a member of the Institute's Board of Directors representing chapters and members of the region. CCIM chapters are divided by regions. There are 12 regions and 56 chapters.
The CCIM Institute Governance and Committee Structure. This shows you a flowchart of the Institute. As you can see at the top, we have the Board of Directors and Executive. Everything in the Institute flows to this point. On the right, you will see our management team. This is made up of the Institute President, President-elect, First Vice President, Treasurer, 3 Presidential Liaisons, and the CEO or Executive Vice President. As you go down, you will see the 3 Presidential Liaisons that oversee different tracks, or committees and subcommittees. The first column deals with member services. Under Member Services, we have Legislative Affairs Committee, Chapter Activities Subcommittee, Regional Activities Subcommittee, and the Networking Committee. We are going to talk about these individual committees in a moment, but it's important to notice that if you have a chapter issue, you would be asked to bring your comments and concerns to the Chapter Activities Subcommittee meeting. It is discussed and possibly an action assigned prior to the next meeting that would report to of Member Services. In the second column, you will notice that the PL oversees professional standards, designation, international activities, and marketing. And in the last column, you will see that the Ward Center for Real Estate Studies, University Outreach, and Curriculum are all subcommittees of education. All of these committees are stand sole and separate. These committees report directly up to the Board of Directors. It is important to note that all work and recommendations that are sent to the Board of Directors are reviewed by the Executive Committee prior to the board meeting.
The next 3 slides will give an outline and short description of the CCIM Institute Governance and Committee structure. First, we'll cover the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors is accountable to the general membership and is ultimately responsible for organizational oversight and strategic direction. The Board is also accountable for the appropriate operations of all committees. The Board approves the annual Institute budget and any mid-year budget revisions, establishes governing policies for the Institute, approves member programs, products, and services, approves education and designation requirements for candidates and designees. The Finance Committee. Their job is to review, debate, and approve the Institute's annual administrative budget and operating plans in accordance with the Institute's reserve policy. Reviews and approves the Institute's annual operating plans developed by various other committees in accordance with the Institute's strategic plan and reserve policy. The committee reviews the actual financial performance of the Institute in comparison to the annual budget. The committee is also responsible for maintaining appropriate investments of Institute funds in accordance with established policies. Strategic planning. The Strategic Committee is responsible for the creation and ongoing review of the CCIM Institute strategic plan, including the values, vision statement, mission statement, goals, and objectives. The committee works in concert with current and future leaders with input from various committees, key members, and staff. The Governance Committee is the guardian of the election and appointive process. The committee shall develop candidate qualification criteria, identify, recruit, and interview qualified candidates from amongst the membership for elective and appointive office, propose a slate of candidates for each elective governance position, approve election processes, procedures, and controls, and administer the election process in accordance with the bylaws. The presidential liaison position shall be appointed to serve as communication links and coordinate programs between the management team, executive committee, and the board of directors with the committees, subcommittees, and subsidiary companies of CCIM. Presidential liaisons appointed by the president shall hold ex officio without vote status on the board of directors, the executive committee, and the budget committee. The Member Services Committee provides ideas and long-range strategies for development of new member benefits. The committee also monitors development of membership-related surveys and initiative surveys when necessary. In addition, the committee initiates studies and research into ways to improve and enhance online resources available to CCIM designees and candidate members. The Member Services Committee oversees the legislative affairs, chapter activities, networking, and regional activities subcommittees. The Legislative Affairs Subcommittee establishes positions on public policy and institutional affairs as related to commercial real estate, promotes and communicates those views through CCIM Institute and NAR channels. The subcommittee monitors legislative and regulatory activity and reports this information to CCIM Institute members and coordinates lobbying effects of CCIM Institute members. The Chapter Activities Subcommittee evaluates the overall chapter program, develops innovative ideas for increasing the effectiveness of the chapter system, and serves as a communication tool and link between the chapter network and the Institute. The Regional Activities Subcommittee reports to the Member Services Committee. The Regional Activities Subcommittee is the reporting body of the CCIM Institute regions. Regional Vice Presidents conduct regional caucuses with the chapter leaders at CCIM Institute meetings and at chapter officer leadership training, attend chapter officer leadership training, and play an active role in facilitating the sessions. Serve on the CCIM Institute Board of Directors representing chapters in the region. The Networking Subcommittee is assigned to enhance the networking opportunities for CCIM Institute members. The Professional Standards Committee shall be responsible for developing professional standards, policies, and procedures applicable to members of the Institute, and for adjudicating and imposing prescribed sanctions regarding complaints between and among Institute members, and between Institute members and others relating to violations of membership duties, ethics, arbitration, disputes that are referred to it. The Designation Committee is responsible for the policies and procedures of the CCIM Institute Designation Program. This includes review of portfolios and administration of the comprehensive exam. The committee also makes recommendations specific to membership rules, policies, and oversees the use of CCIM logo. International Activities Committee will focus on recognition of the CCIM designation globally, how to do business in other countries. It will seek to increase networking opportunities for both U.S. and non-U.S. CCIMs. The Marketing Committee's responsibilities include recommending and advising on Institute marketing initiatives that promote CCIM education, products, and programs. The committee provides feedback and seeks to leverage the professional background of its members to identify and reach new target markets and better serve the existing market. The Education Committee shall provide the long-range planning for the CCIM Institute education to ensure that the CCIM Institute meets its education goals. Further, the committee shall provide oversight of the CCIM Institute education to ensure the quality, consistency, and continuity of CCIM Institute education in the U.S. and abroad. This oversight shall include the processes, policies, and procedures for the creation and maintenance of all CCIM Institute education content, material, and delivery. The Education Committee shall incorporate accelerated learning principles into course delivery. The Curriculum Subcommittee oversees the development and maintenance of the domestic and international designation curriculum materials and technology tools for financial and market analysis. The Curriculum Subcommittee ensures CCIM Institute courses are current and accurate. The University Outreach Subcommittee will oversee the CCIM University Alliance program. The subcommittee will focus on the review of curriculum of different universities to establish official partnerships with the CCIM Institute. The subcommittee will be responsible for the oversight and expansion of the program and assist in defining opportunities to access future CCIM members in the academic world. The Ward Center for the Real Estate Studies Subcommittee provides advanced and continuing education to CCIM Institute members and non-members on relevant and timely commercial real estate topics. The Ward Center program supports the objectives established in the CCIM Institute strategic plan, attracts new participants to the designation program, encourages chapter participation, and enhances the value of the CCM designation. As you can see, members have many opportunities to expand their networks by volunteering at the local and national level.
So here are the final ways that you can prepare. There are numerous resources on the website that you can use while you volunteer. Let's go back to CCIM.com. Under the Networking tab, you will see CCIM Chapters, and then Chapter Resources. When you click on this, it will take you to the Chapter Resource Document page. If you click right here on the Chapter Resource Manual, you will find a 56-page document that is full of detail on anything from how to run a meeting to a schedule for voting in the new chapter leadership. This document will reference many different documents that you might want to use, and they are housed on the website. Back on the Chapter Resource Document page where you found the manual, under General Chapter Documents, as you can see, there are member benefit brochures, social media starter guides, along with chapter meeting reports and expense report forms. Now we need to talk a little bit about the obligations you might have to the new designees. As a chapter president, one of the honors is to be able to pin the new designees from your chapter. After the test, there is a pinning ceremony that night. It is held in a large room with all designees and new designees in attendance. When you enter the room, the tables will be set up with your chapter name on top. Please find your table. The CCIM Institute will provide the pins that you're going to pin your designee with. They will be sitting on the tables with the candidates' names that pass. Many chapters provide a gift to their new designees. It can range from a hat to a ballpoint pen. It is not required, but if you choose to purchase a CCIM logo gift, the CCIM store will be open the morning of the testing. In many cases, new designees are taken out to dinner by their respective chapters or region. This is not required, but if you choose, it is set up individually and is at the chapter's sole cost. If no one from your chapter will be in attendance at the meetings and you have someone being pinned, please contact your regional vice president as soon as possible so they can arrange for another president or themselves to welcome your new designee to our phenomenal organization. So the final thoughts. What to wear? In general, the business meetings are business casual and business attire. We want to remind you to not forget to bring a lot of business cards. This is the place you want to network. If you have issues or ideas, we want to hear them. If you have a concern or a comment, many times it will help if you contact the chairman or vice chairman of that committee and talk to them. prior to the meetings. This way they can get the information on the agenda. And lastly, bring a pen and paper. There are a lot of great ideas that get brought home to the chapters from the meetings. Thank you for your time. If you have any further questions or comments, please send them to chapteradministrator@ccIMinstitute.com.